This video is going to save you days or even weeks worth of work this year, so you can reclaim the time you used to spend on social media marketing to perfect your craft or go on a little vacation. My name is Victoria Strong. I am a brand designer and strategist, and I have been marketing things online for a really long time. Let's see, since I was about 16 and I started my first fashion blog, so that's 13 years. Basically, as long as there's been social media marketing, I've been there doing it. And it can be so insanely exhausting and discouraging, especially if you're not a social media marketer. If you are an artist or you make products or you provide some kind of service and you feel like you have to also become an expert social media marketer in order for the thing you're good at to work, obviously a ton of us are like stressed out, burnt out, and over it. So today I'm going to teach you a lighter lift marketing strategy that is going to be more fulfilling, more engaging, more successful. It's just going to be like better for you and your work, in addition to being better for your audience and getting you more sales. So here's what we're not doing. We're not going to spend so much time on Reels scrolling for ideas of what to post. We're not going to get really excited and start posting for 2 weeks and then get burnt out and stop posting for 2 weeks and then come back for 2 weeks. No more posting burnout cycle. And no more marketing being your main job if your main job isn't marketing. That is, if you're spending more time on your marketing than you are in your work, we're going to fix that. As we go, we're going to do a little example project of what this can look like for a specific business. So the business we're going to do is a photographer. We're going to call her just Emma Photography, so you can see how a business owner might take this tutorial and turn it into a marketing plan. Okay, so that's good. There's Emma Photography. I'll put her there. I don't know if this tape is good for my walls. Step number 1 of the plan is to pick your favorite long form content type. This can be YouTube videos, it can be podcasts, it can be a Substack or a blog. We're talking things that take longer to make and to consume. This is going to be the place where your content is born. Okay, and Emma is choosing YouTube as her long form platform content because she already has the equipment. She herself watches a lot of YouTube, so it's just natural and it makes sense. YouTube is the start of all her content now. So once you have your platform picked out, you're going to brainstorm topics that your ideal client needs to hear. Things that kind of support the product that you want to be selling, the one from part 1 of the series. By the way, this is part 3 of a series on building your dream business. In part 1 of this series, Emma decided that the product she was going to focus on this year is her online lighting course, because she already gets all the photo shoots that she can feasibly do. She knows that in order to grow her revenue, she's going to have to focus on selling her lighting course. So this is going to inform the topics that she's going to put on her YouTube channel. Because it tells us a few things. It tells us that her intended audience is not engaged couples, but is actually going to be photographers who are earlier in their journey than her, who need her resources, her lighting course. Yeah, brainstorm topics that your ideal client wants to hear, things they're interested in, things they want to learn, things they would find interesting or entertaining. And this brainstorm list is going to inform your content for that long form content platform. And every month you're going to make 1 to 4 of these. So either once a month or once a week or somewhere in between. It kind of depends on your strategy. I'm doing once a week on YouTube because I actually want to grow my YouTube channel. We have 3 topics. This is going to be about a month's worth of content for her. She's posting almost every week, but she's not too stringent about it. Okay, so the first topic is going to be how I pick a location for shooting. This is a question that a beginner photographer is going to have. The same kind of person who would buy her lighting course is going to watch this video. So, how I pick a location. Fixing lighting and edits. So it's going to be a tutorial post about how you can improve the lighting in Photoshop or Lightroom. And it'll be really easy to mention in this episode, hey, so that you don't have to continue spending this much time editing your photos, I have a lighting course. You can link it. It's very easy to sell from there. So fixing lighting and edits is going to be one. A travel photographer vlog. So let's say she has a shoot booked out of town in a very romantic destination. She's, rather than selling in this video, she's just going to be posting like, this is what the lifestyle is like. This is what you have to look forward to if you are able to master your photography. Okay, so she's going to make these 3 videos this month. This is your place to really flesh out your ideas and to make content that you're proud of. That is the most important thing when you are making content this 1 to 4 times a month, is that you make it good, that you make it high quality, that you make it something you can be proud of, and that you constantly improve on it. If you start with something high quality that you love and that you're proud of, the rest of the steps are going to be a lot more easy and a lot more effective. If you've been focused on making short form content for most of your social media marketing life, this transition could be really hard, because when we're making the short form stuff, it's kind of a quantity game, and we're switching our brain back to quality, which is a much more fulfilling place to be, but it is still a change. Okay, so now you have your platform, you have your topics laid out. Now you're going to pick a growth platform, and this is more going to be like a short form content place. So it can be Threads, it can be Twitter, X, it could be Instagram, it could be TikTok, it could be YouTube Shorts. You only really need one of these to be successful. There is more than enough people to fund your entire business, all your dreams, on just one of the platforms. It is in your best interest to get really good at one platform rather than spread yourself thin trying to do them all and doing them all kind of poorly. Now, if you're at a point where one of the platforms is doing really well and is converting for you and is feeling kind of easy, at that point, I would say go ahead and expand to a couple more if you want. But if you don't have the strategy down in one place, then what are you doing multiplying that strategy? Develop a good strategy on one that's proven to work, and then expand. Okay, for her growth platform, Emma decided to use Instagram because she already has a big Instagram following. She has momentum there. She's not looking to branch out into a new platform or reinvent the wheel. She is leaning into what is working. And once you have that growth platform picked out, you're going to use the good, beautiful, wonderful long-form content that you made and repurpose it into shorter form content for the growth platform. So for every YouTube video that she makes, she's going to break down that content into 1 Instagram carousel, 5 reels, and 1 talking head story rant where she just opens her phone and talks about whatever's on her mind. It could be what she said in the video, or it could be a response to feedback from the video. So out of 1 vlog, we have 7 pieces of Instagram content, which means 21 pieces of Instagram content for the month. Not bad. Okay, so we have all this content from just these videos. And the crazy thing is that if Emma wanted, she could sit down and cut the reels up from the YouTube video or record her reels on the day of her YouTube recording day, and have this whole thing just be a task she does in one single work day every week. That way she's not distracted by the constant social media grind while she's doing things like photo shoots and editing, developing courses. So that can look like cutting your YouTube video into small clips to post on TikTok. If you did a how-to somewhere in your blog, then you can turn it into a carousel for Instagram. You can do rants about what you were talking about, unpopular opinions about what you were talking about, sarcastic jokes about what you were talking about. And for the whole week or even the whole month, you're going to focus on the content, the concept of just that one blog post or that one video or that one podcast episode. And I like to schedule this out. So after I have scripted or recorded a YouTube video, I like to schedule out several threads for the following week that are kind of expansions on what I've talked about, direct quotes from what I've talked about, just kind of like teasers so people know what's on my mind and what's going on in my content world and feel enticed to engage a little bit more, maybe go to the long form stuff. And there are several benefits to doing this way. One being, you're not going to sit down with a blank slate every time it's content creation day, or if it's something that you do off the fly every day, you're not going to be sitting there with a blank slate like, what should I post? What should I do? What should I say? You already have relevant topics fleshed out, developed, beautiful, deliverable, and you're just going to think, how do I package this for this platform, for reels, for stories, for the feed, for short form text. Recently, I've designed Canva template libraries for several of my clients so they can just put it into a design that's already made and post it. Then you're also going to take that long form content and turn it into 1 to 4 newsletters, email marketing. The work's already done. The concept's already developed. All you have to do is repackage it. Okay, so for every video, we're also gonna add a newsletter. And to do that, she can just download the captions from her YouTube and kind of edit it a little until it is a readable newsletter. And the reason that a newsletter is so important is that they tend to have much higher conversion rates than social media, which means someone is more likely to click and purchase her lighting course out of an email than they are off of a reel or off of YouTube. Any questions? All that's scheduled out. You can do that in 1 day a week. Then, like we talked about in part 2 of this series, we still want to bring in like the personality and the lifestyle aspects, and this frees you up to be more creative with those posts. You can do them on the fly, you can do them off the cuff, you can do them based on what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're wearing, because the more strategic content is already taken care of, you can have fun. You can have fun on social media again. This is going to help your focus so much because you're not going to be distracted every day with what you have to create and what you have to say online. It's going to help your digital fatigue so much because if you want, you only have to be logged into those apps 1 day a week. And it encourages your audience to engage with your work in a much deeper way, which is better for their brains too. And ideally, we care about the well-being of the people we work for. And this is all exactly what I'm doing here. I pick topics that will help you because you're my ideal client, and I try to make a really good video on it. I take thoughts and concepts from what I'm posting here and I post them on Threads. I recap them in my newsletter. I don't bother with TikTok or Instagram stories, even though as a designer, they're visual platforms and should work better for me. They don't work better for me. They don't work good for my brain. And I am like not wasting time this year. And then the final and very important step that you want to make sure you're doing is that you are funneling your audience from both your discovery platform and your long form content into the next stage of your customer journey. So for some people, that's going to be to an entry-level product, something small to buy, or it could be to your email list. That kind of depends on your own strategy and how you're structuring things, which is going to vary business to business. And that is how you are going to make more money by working less, working smarter, not harder. So it's your turn to go ahead and do something like this in your journal for your next month of content creation. Think about what you're trying to sell and to whom, and just make really good content for them. Join us next week to finish the series. Part 4 is going to be really about stepping into the business owner role. We're going to be talking about what you actually need to be doing on a regular basis to continually grow your business. It's like real big girl shit. And if you'd like us to follow you on either your growth platform or your long form content platform, go ahead and post your handles in the comments and we'll come follow you.